Welcome back. It's art time class. Today, I'm going to be going over the final steps for our final activity of the fall semester. Let's get started. For this activity, you're going to need to have already done day 1, which should look something like one of these. And you need to have also done your 10 activities that were due earlier in the semester. Let me show you where those are. So over in Google Classroom, when you click on classwork, you'll see all of your activities listed here. There should be 10 of them. And then this check my work is an extra credit activity. At the very bottom, when you're done with all your art and you have extra time, you can do any of these extra art activities. I've added quite a few of them over the Thanksgiving break. And then if you're looking for more ideas to put on your final project, because all of these taught you something and gave you ideas for our final activity. But if you want even more ideas, you can go over to Google Classroom and find the Art Time Class YouTube link and hop over onto YouTube, Art Time Class. And you can look down here. There's different videos to show you different ideas. If you wanted to know how to do that stuff, there's information here. If you wanted different coloring techniques, there would be more information here. And we've been adding more and more projects as the semester has continued. So if you wanted to go back and double check any of those activities to try, like this one, look at those bumpy lines. This was really important so that you could do the bumpy lines on this activity so you could get those bumps. All right. Well, that's that. Let's go ahead and check out what we actually need to color and do on this activity. So there's all these different ways to color and draw and decorate it. And you had all those activities showing you different ways to do it. Now it's your job to take time and slowly color and do the very best that you can. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I could do markers, crayons, color pencils, paints, whatever you have available. I could even use a highlighter. I'm going to use a highlighter to start. Now, as we're getting started on our coloring and shading of our activity, I do want to take a moment to highlight your activities that you've been working on and sending me your in-progress work, along with reviewing our cue to review for this activity. Let's go ahead and check that out. So here we have some student artwork. I'm really excited with the level of coloring that I've been seeing in students. Just look at that up there. It's gorgeous. Look at all that gorgeous coloring. So you see where they outlined the hand, and you can see where they changed colors on this first one. For the one next to it in the middle, the color is exactly the same, but the direction of their coloring is all the same. It all goes straight all the way through across, along with that last one that's a little bit rainbowy over there at the end. Huge shout out, very exciting. That shading that they added. I don't know if y'all see that shading in there at the end. That's really, really cool. Let's check out some more. Here is some more coloring. And I love the way they really incorporated the line work. I especially like how the person in the middle is taking their time. You can see that they're following the lines. They're at the very corner end piece. I'm really excited about that one. They added all these little bumps in there, and they're coloring with the bumps. Good job coloring. Oh my gosh, these look so good. This one and these, dude, they're going for a little more realism here when they're coloring in. They're using the color of the skin. Loving the nail adding details you guys have done. On some of my examples, I added a little bit of nail details, and I'll show you those in just a little bit. But check out those like pointy nails. The one on the corner way over there, you'll see at the very end, where the arm, it goes up and over. I really love how they did that. Like they really did the curve of it. Really good job. All of these did such a good job with the curve. These three are a great example of creative details. They took the first day to trace their hand and come up with details to decorate the background, the foreground. Remember, you don't just have to color it in. If you wanted to do details or a picture or a scene, like this one right here, like it's a scene where the hand is like using power electricity. Oh my gosh, there's several of them that have that like electrical vibe. Like this one right here, I love this student. When I saw theirs in the classroom, I literally stopped and was like mind blown by theirs. I mean, just look at that level of detail. Look at this level of detail right here with the hand. Like, oh, and like we're holding hands. This project's going to be a really great gift when you finish it and you color it. You could give this to someone. Look at that beautiful detail they're adding. Ah, these look so good. See the bumps and the lines right there? Oh, these did such a good job. And they haven't even started with color. And you don't need to start with color. Take your time. Take your time. These three might be my favorite. So this one right here, the student was reluctant to add the shade. Well, I say reluctant, like they were like, "Can I do that?" Like I want to try to do that because they saw the picture and I was like, dude, did you see that shadow? I'm going to explain it in my video, which I'm about to do. And look how he tried. Really excited to celebrate that. This student came up with the lines of their hands. I didn't say anything about it. There was a handful of students, like 5 different students came up with that idea. And then a few other students around them also kind of copied their idea or was inspired by them. I love that. Along with this one over here, look at that beautiful artwork, really taking the time, adding beautiful detail. What a great gift these are going to be. So you probably have something like this. What do you think? They look really good, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, they probably have something like this. Let's review that QD review, and I'll go over my examples that I have because I have something that looks like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to add shading to them to make them look even more, let's say, three-dimensional. Third-dimensional. Let's go ahead and check it out. So here we have some different examples of my paper. Oh, first the QD review. Let's do the QD review first. So we will draw along with the video. In a moment, we're going to add some shading and coloring, and you guys are going to take your time and do that. I will trace my hand and create a unique piece of art using our knowledge of line and value. So we've been reviewing that value by going over shading. We've been going over different line projects and optical illusions. There's so many projects we've done. It's your turn to use that knowledge on this activity. And we're going to do this because line and value adds a lot to our art. Okay. Now to do this, you're going to trace your hand and use those shading techniques that we've gone over. Decorate that background and do your best coloring, your very best coloring. And of course, I always want you to review with this activity. I've already gotten a lot of really good reviews. I want you to reflect on this activity. Really think about it. I've got guiding questions if you need them. If not, just a lot of us already have lots of great things to say. Like people are like, wow, this is really cool. I'm really enjoying this. Like if that's what you have to say, definitely that's your reflection. Tell someone about it. Share it with someone. It's going to be super easy to reflect on this activity. Let's go ahead and check out. All right, it's time to check out how to add that shading, all that beautiful shading. So what you're going to do is you probably have something like this, or maybe you have something like this. Maybe it's something like this. These are different samples I've been working on with my kindergarten and first grade group. You're going to, in between, add a curve line. And you want to follow the curve of your hand. Now, see, I'm literally making a mark here. Okay. You have to be really responsible and not just mark all over your hand for fun. Check that out. Already seeing that pop. Now, the hardest areas is going to be your hand in the center here. Your fingers, your wrist, that's going to be not as hard. It's really the center of your hand that's going to be the most difficult part of this activity. So when you're working on the center of your hand, you want to take your time. It has to go up, and then it kind of comes straight down. So I go up, and it kind of comes straight down. So up here, a little bit of a, and then because I have a knuckle right here, A little less of one right here. There's much more pronounced on that one. A little bit like that. And even down here where my wrist is, I have a bone that sticks out right here almost a little bit. So when I'm adding that in, you see that bone bumper is right there. Versus over here where it's going to come up, over, and then down again. And this will be much more of a higher bump as I'm adding all that in. Now, when you're adding details, you can be fancy and add a frame like this. Kindergarten and first graders on in-person, I prompted them to practice doing a frame so they had extra practice with the tracing skill. Because tracing a bumpy thing like your hand is a little harder than tracing a straight thing like a book or a binder or a pencil. Adding your own details, you can definitely be creative about this. And adding in that bump, the bump to all of these on the inside of the hand might be difficult, but I know you can do it. Take your time, do one at a time. When you're done adding all those bumps, you got all those ridges, the next thing you're going to do is add those contour lines. When you add in. I also think it helps to add a little straight coming off the side too. It really makes the finger part pop out. You can be creative. You don't have to do this in pencil. If you want to do this in black and white, you can totally do this project black and white just in pencil. Definitely recommend pencil. Pen, it can be done. It is much harder. All right, so already you see the difference right there. Ooh, I see this here needs to be shaded in a bit more. And I really want all of my lines to go straight, same direction. And then all of these lines be curved. Now, if I look at my finger here, so there's that shadow that I added right here. There's the darker area right there. So it gets a little lighter, like there's a mid-tone, highlight, and there's like a little darker right here, and just a little bit of a shadow there. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's not as pronounced, it's a lot lighter, so the line work is a lot lighter. Same with this shadow on this side. It's a lot lighter of a shadow. So I want your line work to be a lot lighter. Oh my gosh, I'm loving the way this looks. And if you do this to one strip or one finger, like that's going to be so awesome, cool, and amazing. And if that's all you do, that's fine. Let's celebrate that. You practiced it. I'm so proud of you. And a little bit more. You're going to do more? Spend more time on it? Dude, go for it. This project isn't due till the 18th, so you got time. The time I'm posting this video and you'll have access to it, there'll be 2 weeks for me. If you don't get this done right away, then it's going to be a little longer. Or, I'm sorry, it'll be a little less time. Dun, dun, dun. That's the opposite. You'll have less time to do this. Take your time. And just very lightly shading. Again, going back and forth, I really want to keep that. And then right here where it hits the thumb, it needs to curve just a little bit. And there would be a little bit of a shadow there. And I could go back and blend. I have a little bit of fun wrapping paper. Because I'm sure you've been helping out and working with things at home. And decorating. Other merriment. So that's how you add shading. Let's see, I can do this a little bit more up here. A little bit of curve. Or like, what about the nail here? Like, what if I want the nail to look like it's not touching the table? I would put the shadow, that shadow line, I would make it come a little bit off. Like, if you look at my finger, see that shadow right there? I'm gonna do. And I want to keep that line work. Light, some light. Hold on, what did I do? I might come off the edge a little bit more. Ooh, so fun. And then inside the finger, we curve it. Curving, adding a shadow. If I want to add a fingernail, I need to think, is my finger going across? My fingernail go across my finger, or does it sit inside? It sits inside my finger, so I'm kind of following along there. I don't want to add. I can add. I can totally do that. That's an artist's choice. That is up to you. And as you saw, the more time, the more layering and going back through, the better and better it ends up looking. Versus, you know, just a little bit. What am I saying? A little bit. That's not a little bit. A little bit would be like, that's a little bit. That's a little bit. Still awesome. Still awesome, don't you think? That's just the first part, right? Do the thumb. How the thumb sits is always a little harder. But once you get it, like once you figure out how to do the nails, it's really fun to add the nails in. I want to color it in. On the wrist, on the arm, still. It'd be easy to do a little bit of that right there. Okay. Color pencil would be great for this. That's how I do this version of the project. So how long do you think I spent working on this? I spent good 8 hours working on this one. Spent a good 6 hours working on this. Now keep in mind, I work on my art in between, you know, what I'm doing in real life, whether it's watching a movie, relaxing, working with my students. A lot of the times I'll carry my sketchbook around while I'm working with my students and point out things, or I'll have a piece of paper that I'm working on that I'm adding to, and I'll bring this around and I'll say, all right, so now you're gonna add this, and I'll add it to that and just leave it there for them to look at. So I practice a lot, so that's why mine are looking. Look at that, so cool! I love it. Look, Emma, I like it a lot. I hope you like it too. There's lots of different ways to do this. So you saw the coloring happening, so you can color it really nicely. You can shade it in really nicely. Up to you guys. You can add color and make it even more like this. Now, if you color it flat, that's totally cool. It's fine. It's going to look awesome. But for those wanting to go above and beyond and try the harder one, definitely go for this. Now, if you try it and it doesn't work out, please send me a picture of your trying, because I'll still give you points just for trying. You can get lots of points for trying. And in fact, I give more points for people who try. Like if you do something correct the first time and you don't even have to try to do it right, I'm not going to give you as much points as someone who has to try and try and try to do a good job. And maybe theirs isn't as great as the person who did it the first time the correct way, but that person who tried really, really hard and was able to overcome like that challenge and figured it out, that part that they were trying to do, even if they didn't figure it out, they're trying. And if you show me pictures of that, I'm going to give you credit. I'm going to give you more and more credit. The more you try, the more credit I want to give you. So just show me pictures. Take a picture of this. Send it to me. I can't wait to see it. For those of you who watched the first day's video all the way to the end, you know that if you take a picture of your in progress and your final piece, I'll give you extra credit, extra points for extra pictures, also extra review, extra writing. That would be extra points too. So lots of ways to get lots of good points. Oh my gosh, guys, we went over so much stuff. I can't believe I could just keep talking about this video. I could just keep writing and drawing and coloring more. As you can see, I've got more I need to color on this picture. It's not even close to being done. I could probably spend another hour or two on it. Now it's time for you guys to take your time, do your best. You don't need to rush. And of course, guys, until next time, keep being creative. Bye. Send me a picture of your work. Have a happy holiday. Be safe.